Well, this is going to be our animation tutorial that we're going to start with. We're going to start the very basic parts of animation. So we're going to go ahead and open up our Blender program. We're going to get in here version 2.76. I don't want all those things, so I'm going to press the A key twice. Deselect, select everything. Press X, and I'm going to delete it. So now in this spot here, we need to add in your own object. So I'm going to Shift A. You can pick any object that you want. Circle is going to be pretty boring. The plane is going to be pretty flat to actually see what's happening with. I would suggest one of the 3D objects like a cube, a UV sphere, an icosphere, a cylinder, a cone, or a torus, or maybe even the monkey head down here. So I'm going to grab the monkey head. It's already kind of a pre-built, kind of a fun little shape here. But in order to do animation, we have to tell the computer what to do and when to do it. And if you watch a movie like Zootopia, you will see that they've got a lot of things happening. They've had to tell the computer on a lot of different places, a lot of different objects, what to do, when, and how to make it look to make all that animation happening. But we're going to start just with this object. We're going to move it around a little bit. We're not going to animate it and make it talk or anything just yet, but we're going to move it from one area to the next to the next. So down here in the middle of the screen, you have all these frames. This is actually a timeline of frames. So each number here is going to represent, like number 5, 5 frames, 10, 10 frames, 11, 11 frames, and it's just going to keep on going. And right now we haven't told the computer what to do with this object yet, and so I'm going to press play, and you're going to see that it moves the player all the way through this 250 frames, but yet nothing's happening. I'm going to go ahead and press pause. It's just the same as a video controller at home. I'm going to go ahead and rewind all the way back to the beginning, and I have to tell the computer what to do, so I'm going to enter in some keyframes. So I'm going to press the letter I, and I'm going to use the location keyframe. There's a whole lot of different other things that we can do, but right now we're going to do a location keyframe. This will tell this computer where we are starting with this monkey head. You can see that it's now got an orange around its name down there. We are going to go ahead and move to keyframe. In fact, let's make this a shorter video. We're going to actually move it from 250, and all I did was click on the end part. Let's make it short. Let's make it 50. That's not going to be very long, but at least it'll give us a basic start. So now I go from frame 1 to frame 50. That's about maybe a second and a half, not quite 2 seconds worth of video. So I'm going to start at frame 1. I have my keyframe. This is where my object is. And then I'm going to go to, let's click down in here, and let's go to frame number 10. And you'll notice that this green marker jumped over to frame number 10, and it left a yellow marker over here on frame 0. That yellow marker right there means that you have a keyframe. If you'll notice right now, when you start building this, if you don't have a yellow marker everywhere where we put a keyframe, you're not putting your keyframes in, and that's why things aren't animating. So now I'm going to change this location, and it doesn't matter where you put it. I'm going to actually make it dramatically different so that I can see that it's going to move. Now the computer will remember at frame 1 it was here, and now at frame 10 it's going to be way over to the side, and it will build all the movement frames in between. And that's something like back when Walt Disney was first making its hand-drawn cartoon animated films. You had to draw every single frame between there, but now that we get into computer animation, the computer will actually animate it for you. You just have to tell it where to place things. So now that I'm on frame 10, I've got my object moved, and my object is selected. It's important to have your object selected. I'm going to press I. I'm going to add another location keyframe to be right there. Okay, let's jump down here. Let's go to frame 25. So I'm going to type in 25, hit enter. Notice I now have 2 yellow keyframes. My green marker has moved over to 25. Now let's make something dramatically different happen. Again, I'm going to take this, I'm going to press G, just grab it, move it over down over there. I'm going to press the letter I, put in a location keyframe, and now the computer will start at 0 with the object in the middle. It's going to go where I just had it over at frame 10, and now at frame 25 I've now placed a new keyframe here, and I'm going to go ahead and maybe scale below here, and I'm going to move up to frame number 40. So I'm going to click inside there, I'm going to type 40, and I'm going to press enter. Notice I now have 3 keyframes. I have the green marker over here. Let's take this and move it down over here, but let's go ahead and move it back into there a little bit more. So now I've got it underneath, and then I'm going to press I. Oops, I was off the screen a little bit. Press I, location, and then I'm going to move to frame 50. I'm going to press enter, and now I'm going to move this guy back almost where it came from. So this should be almost a start, and it will kind of travel around and it'll head right back to the beginning. So I'm going to press I, and I'm going to click on location. And don't forget, if you are off the works pad right in the middle there, your little workspace, and you're over here and you press the letter I, it's not going to come up. You have to be in your workspace with your mouse someplace in the gray and press the letter I, then you get your keyframe. Click on that for location. And now, if you, let's just move back a few frames, you can see that it's actually starting to animate it. So let's click this to jump all the way back to the very beginning. Now this is our first frame. I'm going to press play, and we should see this monkey head start to animate around. Okay, so it's going to keep on going, and it's going to do the animation. You'll notice it goes straight from one spot to the next. It doesn't vary, it just goes straight from one spot to the next. And this is a pretty fast movement. If I wanted to slow that movement down over time, I would have to take my keyframes and I would have to move them or erase them and change how long of a time period it is. So remember, this isn't a very long time period we are working with. This is just an initial beginning one. This is an animation to start with. So if you want to play with that for a little bit, get yours set up, and very soon I'll be showing you how to screencast this to make your own short little movie of what you're working on right now. So go ahead and get yourself animating, make something happen, and have a good time with it. Make sure you file save as if you need to save your file.